Welcome back, everyone, to Top Tennis Tips. Got a special edition, the first streaming of the Grand Slam with special guest Jack. Jack, how you doing?
Pat, thanks so much for having me here. I'm so excited. Everyone's so excited about the French Open, and we've got a lot here to unpack. But just a little bit about myself, guys. I'm a tennis ball kid, or was a tennis ball kid for 3 years. I was ball kid at Sydney International, ball kid for the likes of Leighton Hewitt, Venus Williams, and Carolina Pliskova, Simona Halep, many other players. And yeah, had a lot of fun playing myself. Obviously enjoy playing with Pat on the call. We're always very competitive, but yeah, looking forward to breaking down the draw.
Yeah, no, it's a very exciting draw to go through. Very good player you are, Jack. On court, very good player. Off court, very great man. It'll be good to express the tennis knowledge against each other. See how many arguments we get into. Without any further ado, Jack, do you want to kick us off?
Let's do it, absolutely. So first match, number one seed, Novak Djokovic, and he's playing Yoshito Nishioka. I'm picking Djokovic to win this match. Djokovic just came off a good win at the Italian Open, won the tournament Roland Garros in 2021, lost in Madrid in the semi-finals, but Novak obviously finding his form just at the right time. And as good as Nishioka is, ranked 94th, career high of 48, he's only made it to the second round in 2021 and 2020. So I think it's going to be a tough ask for Nishioka. So that's why I'm picking Djokovic. What about you, Pat?
Yeah, I can't really go past Djokovic here. I'd love to cause an early upset, cause some controversy, but Djokovic gave Alcaraz a nice 19th birthday present with the loss over Alcaraz. But I think Djokovic will get through this one. Moving on to the in-form Alex Mulkan, just coming off a final loss against Cam Nori. Took a set off him though. I think we'll see. I think we'll see Mulkan come over with the victory here. I think he just beat Federico Coria 3 days ago in straight sets. I think it was 6-3, 6-2. I think. You know what? Actually, I changed my mind. Bit of a second match upset. He's changing my mind. I think Mulkan just might be a bit too tired here. I know Mulkan just won, but Federico Coria might be a bit more fresh, and I think Coria will be able to do the job. What do you reckon?
Yeah, interesting. I'm picking Mulkan here for the reasons that you said earlier before. He has beaten Federico Coria recently, and he's in great form. So I'm picking Mulkan, but I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, very true.
Going down to agree to disagree.
Exactly.
And then next we've got Adiaz Bedin and Christopher O'Connell, the Australian, who will be looking out for keenly. But something to note about Chris O'Connell, I'm picking O'Connell to win this one, but I do think it's going to be 4 or 5 sets. It's going to be very tough. O'Connell currently ranked 124. Bedin, the Slovenian, currently ranked 175, but coming out of injury. And look, I think Chris O'Connell, he made the first round here, lost to Tommy Paul a few years back. Can't quite remember the exact year. But, he plays well on clay. He's grown up with an Argentinian coach. And, O'Connell says he's very comfortable on the slower surfaces. Had a good run in Geneva the other week, just losing to Opelka, the big serving American, in the round of 16. O'Connell played a lot of matches on the clay, made a few quarters in the Challenger Tour. Also won a final in Croatia in the Challenger. And look, Bedin, he's coming back from injury. Had a good win over Kukushkin a few weeks ago, but I'm picking O'Connell to get through this one.
Yeah, I don't think I can add much more there. I think O'Connell's going to do the job. I think Bedin he's coming okay. He didn't play for a while injury, but I think O'Connell will do the job there. Moving on to Cuevas versus Brooksville. I couldn't think of many opposite players here. Cuevas, I think he's 36 now. Brooksby's just fresh 20-year-old, I believe. Although they've come off different clay surfaces, different surfaces as well. Brooksby's, not used to being the clay. He hasn't played much clay at all. In fact, I think he's 2-3 in the clay record this year. Although I'd love to see Cuevas have a nice comeback and, get all vibrant as he does. We saw in the ATP Cup with rather vividly Cuevas jumping around in Australia. But I think Brooksby should be able to do the job here. We might see a trick shot or two from Cuevas, but I think Brooksby will do the job here.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Pat. We haven't seen much of Brooksby in recent weeks since his good run of form and on the hard courts, especially at Miami. But yeah, I'm picking Brooksville to win this. He defeated Goffin just last week in Rome. 6-love, 7-6. Goffin, we know how good he is coming off a win in the back of Marrakesh. But yeah, I'm with you on this one. I'm picking Brooksville. All right. The next match we've got is Griegel, Dimitrov, and Marcus Giron, the American. Dimitrov currently ranked at 20, Giron ranked at 49. Look, I think Griegel, Dimitrov, historically, the clay hasn't been one of his favoured services. He likes the hard court and the grass courts of Wimbledon, but we've got to take into account Dimitrov's recent form. He made Monte Carlo semi-finals, losing narrowly to Fokina in 3 sets. His best result at Roland Garros came in 2020 when he made the 4th round. Made the round of 16 in Madrid, round of 32, losing to Tsitsipas in both of those tournaments. But I think Dimitrov is in good form, and I think he will get through this one, despite the fact that Marcus Giron is a very well-respected player on the tour.
Yeah, definitely. I think Giron's definitely showed his grit on the hard court, somewhat on clay, with his win against Schwartzman. But I think Dimitrov will take the cake here. Going to Coric versus Taberner. This might be 5 sets, an early prediction. I think this might be a bit of a long one. We see, consistent Coric. He sort of does the job usually in the first and second rounds. We see him coming back from, a year off or almost a year off with injury. And Taberner, he's, coming through the ranks, almost a bit of opposite there. See Taberner do okay in the Challenger. I really liked him last year, but he has a bit of inconsistencies in his results at the moment. So just to be safe, I think I'll be going Coric here. How about yourself?
Yeah, I would agree with that, Pat. Taberner ranked around 88 at the moment. Coric ranked obviously a little bit higher, but we know how good of a player Coric is. He's made the 3rd round of Roland Garros in the past. Yeah, I would agree with you. I think, it's going to be a tough ask for Borna Coric, but given how good he is as a player, and we know how much he likes to fight in these sort of conditions, I'm going to pick Coric for this one, but absolutely with you. I think it is going to be a very tough one. It could go either way.
Yeah, Spaniards love to see the long hours of the day, 5-hour matches.
Absolutely. The next one we've got is Daniel Altmine from Germany and Jean Munar from Spain. Altmaire's had a great run. I didn't realize he was ranked this high. He's actually ranked 54 at the moment. He won a challenger title on clay a few weeks back in Germany. He lost in Lyon recently on the ATP tour. His best result came at 2020 Roland Garros in the 4th round. So clearly this guy can play on clay, but he's up against, once again, some tough opposition who is probably out of form slightly. Ranked 91 in the world, Munar. He has been high before. He made a quarterfinal in the Challenger in Bordeaux, round of 16 in Barcelona, losing to, of course, in-form Carlos Alcaraz. Look, I do think that this is another one of those matches that could go either way, but I'm going to pick Munar with this one just to be safe. I think he'll have a lot of Spanish support given Nadal and Alcaraz will be there. And, we know how much Munar can fight on these services and he loves the clay. So I'm going to pick Munar on this one as well, but it could go either way.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Altmaier has a really nice serve and Munar's developed a serve over 2021, 2022. But I think, there might be something in the Spanish grit and the clay over there that makes them play a bit better. But
we'll wait and see. Who's next, Pat?
We will. We got Schwartzman Kuznetsov. Funnily enough, Kuznetsov has actually beaten Schwartzman once before in their only head-to-head. So, it did make me want to rethink the winner that I think will be Schwartzman, but it wasn't enough. Kuznetsov a bit inconsistent, ranked 227 at the moment. We see Schwartzman, he's made a quarterfinal, he's made a semi-final here before. He's not afraid of the long run. And I think as much as I'd like to see an upset here, I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. I think Schwartzman's going to get through for all the reasons you said. Next up, we've got Felix Auger-Aliassime FAA versus JP Varillas, the Peruvian. I think Auger-Aliassime is going to get through this one, despite the fact that he's never made it past the first round at Roland Garros. He's the 9th seed and clearly he's a good player. He has been a little bit out of form, I might add, since his run to the quarterfinals at the Australian Open this year and winning Rotterdam just in February this year. But look, I think Auger-Aliassime is a player to be feared in any tournament he enters. And I definitely think it's going to be a tough ask for the Peruvian ranked 122 Varillas to beat Auger-Aliassime. Although let's not discount Varillas' good results. He made the semi-final at a challenger in Buenos Aires recently. His career high is 104. So he is playing somewhat near his best tennis of the career, but he has never played at Roland Garros. And I'm anticipating that Auger-Aliassime, with the experience and advantage of having played at Roland Garros before, I do think this will serve Auger-Aliassime well in his first match. So for those reasons, we're going Auger-Aliassime.
Yeah, definitely. I think Fierce can sometimes get a bit of stage fright, but I think Varillas, having never played a Roland Garros match, might feel the same. But coming on to Karatsev, someone who I miss going far in the tournaments. He had his time, Australian Open. He's showing us what he's all got. And coming against the qualifying, Ugo Carabelli, we see Carabelli's ranked 175, a bit of an ITF player, coming through very well in qualifying. But Karatsev, look, I've gone for Karatsev here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Karatsev just doesn't show up. I think Karatsev, his only clay win this season has come against Lloyd Harris, 9-7 in the third set tiebreaker. So just scraping through. I think it might be a bit of a difficult one, but how do you feel about Tabio next matchup?
Yeah, look, that's what I'm certainly very excited for. And I think, we've got two great players who are in, I would argue, they're playing some of their best tennis. I mean, Alejandro Tabilo, the Chilean player, is ranked 78. He started the season at outside of 130. And then you've got the Croatian Borna Gorjo. He's ranked 222. He's got a career high of 208, which he achieved last year in September. So these are players who are in some good forms. Look, I think the qualifier Gojo has had some good wins. In qualifying, he took out the Argentinian Juan Ignacio Londero and took out the Italian Gianluca Majera. He's got a big game, big forehand, big serve. We know that's been a real asset in this game. But look, I think Tabilo, the way he's playing at the moment, that big lefty forehand and lefty slice, I think it's really going to jump off the clay. And a lot of Chileans really enjoy the clay. I think he's one that's really going to relish this opportunity playing in his first ever Roland Garros major. So I'm going to pick Tabilo for this one, but I do think it's going to be a tough one for either player.
Yeah, I think that lefty, coming from my experience as a lefty, I think it'll do nicely. Well, coming back to probably one of the popcorn matches of this half of the draw in the first round, we've got Kryonevic V Opelca. Opelka, he's won a clay tournament in Houston, American clay, if you can call it real clay. It's nothing like the Roland Garros scenes. But, I think I'm going to go for an early upset here. I think Opelka, I think the crowd will be with Kryonevic. Kryonevic, he's had his downs. I think he had a family member passing away early this year. He's had some sort of mental downtime. And I think he's recharging. He's had some good results recently. And I wouldn't be surprised. He has a big serve, despite, not being almost 7 foot like Opelka. I think he's got a weapon as a serve. So I think he might serve him well here.
Yeah, look, Pat, I'd agree with you there. I'm actually going to go with Opelka on this one. Despite the fact that, yes, Opelka has had some varying results in the clay, I do think that the big serve is going to serve him well, no pun intended, in the first round. He is a good player. He's coming off some really good form in Geneva, lost in the semi-final. But let's not forget, he is a really good player and he's always going to be tough to beat on any day. He's a 17th seed for a reason. So I'm going to go with Opelka on this one, but I do agree with you. It's not going to be an easy first round.
Yeah, good call.
So next we have Bottick Van Der Sancher and we've got Pavel Kotov. So I haven't seen too much of Kotov, if I'm being honest. He's ranked 143 in the world. He's 23-year-old Russian. And look, he's coming up against some tough opposition in Van Der Sancher, the Dutchman, ranked 29th at the moment, which is definitely close, near his career high. Bottick Van Der Sancher came off a win. He lost the final in Munich, losing to Holger Rune. He had to pull out of that one. He made the round of 32 at Madrid. He's kind of got under the radar, but look, he is a really solid player on clay, massive forehand, a lot of topspin. I think Bottick Van Der Sancher is going to get this one. Yeah,
definitely. You underestimate how quick he is too. He's tall, but he's quick. I think Kotov has had some good results recently in the challenges, but Bottick, he's not someone to throw away a match cheaply. So I'm thinking I'll happily go with Bottick as well. Moving on to something that we should be both excited for, the first Aussie in the draw scene.
Absolutely.
And we had Kokkinakis beat Fognini last week.
Second one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Not forgetting Mr. Chris. We had Kokkinakis beat Fognini in straight sets last week. So
Did?
for that reason, Popperin, he's on a 5-match winning streak. He's just won a challenger in France. And I think he'll be ready. He's in form. Fognini spits the dummy, but he can get the crowd rallying around him. I think Fognini's mentality just might fall off here. I understand he's been to former semi-finals. He's won Monte Carlo, I think in 2019 and 2020. But yeah, I think he may just not have enough against Popperin. We might see a Popperin with fire.
Yeah, look, Pat, you're right there. This is one of those popcorn first round matches. If you're an Australian, I'd agree. It's going to go either way for sure. Popperin, in arguably the best form of his life, leading into a Roland Garros. 5-match win streak on any tournament. Even the challenger level, that's an exceptional result and certainly not an easy feat. I'm going to go with Fognini on this one because of the good results he has had on clay in the past, and I think it'd be a disservice to not highlight how good he is. So, as much as I'd like to go Popper on this one, I think just because it could go either way, I'm going to go with Fognini on this one and see what happens.
Fair call. How do you think about Wawrinka?
Yeah, look, this is certainly an exciting one. Wawrinka ranked 257 at the moment, but we all know that he's certainly capable of much higher. He is coming back from injury, so obviously the ranking there kind of reflects that. It's great to see Stan back on clay, first of all. It's great to see him get his first win in Rome after months out on the tour. He made the round of 16. He's won this tournament, Roland Garros, in 2015. Let's not forget that. That's going to serve him mentally in the tough moments, especially in best-of-5 matches. Look, he's coming up against some tough opposition in the Frenchman, Corentin Moutet, the left-hander, currently ranked 139. Arguably out of form a little bit, but look, he's gone under the radar. He's made the 3rd round of Roland Garros in 2019. Challenger last week in France, making the last round of 16. But yeah, I do think it is going to be tough for Wawrinka, but I'm going to go with Wawrinka this one, just purely because of the great results that he's had at Roland Garros. We know how much he loves this place.
Yeah, I think you're pretty right there. I think there is a lot of history there with Wawrinka and Moutet. He's young, he's fiery. He loves to rally the crowd up. The French crowd's going to be huge here.
It's a good point.
I'm not sure. There's half of me that thinks Wawrinka's just going to find his old form and find his old the glue that he had in recent years on the clay. But I'm not sure if he's at 100% yet. And for that reason, I think there just might be something in the crowd and in the way Moutet will. I think drop shots is going to be huge here in this match. Moutet loves to do drop shots. Wawrinka just might not get there. I can definitely see it being a 4-hour match or more.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, but we'll move on to another Australian with an unfortunate draw. Jordan Thompson, Sydney favourite against Rafael Nadal, who's the world's favourite. Don't know how I like his chances here, but I don't want to disrespect him. He's a fit player. He's had some, he's still definitely in the top 100. On clay, it's just not quite his surface. On Australia, he does very well. We see Rafa, he's had a foot injury. Obviously he's a 13-time Grand Slam champion here, the record. But I'm just unsure how that's going to, how Thompson's going to be able to get into Rafa's game. How do you think this will go?
Yeah, look, Pat, I think it's a very tall ask for the Australian Jordan Thompson. Look, we know that he is a fighter and he's going to grind for every point, and that's what we love about Jordan. But yeah, I think coming up against Rafa Nadal, who you would argue, is struggling a little bit with the injury problems, and we'll all be keen to see how Nadal sort of handles the moment and the situation. But yeah, I'm going to go with Rafa Nadal. I think it's hard to look past him.
Yeah, definitely. I will add an important point here that when Rafa was training, he actually, he wasn't moving that much. So, if Jordan can take an early set or two, I wouldn't be surprised if Rafa starts to struggle here.
Anything could happen. Let's see what happens.
Exactly. How do you think about Zverev?
Zverev and Offner. I am going to say Zverev for this one. So Zverev's ranked number 3 at the moment. Sebastian Offner, the Austrian, is ranked 218. The reason I'm going with Zverev on this one is his results. He has been doing very well on the clay. He made the semi-final last year at Roland Garros. He played well. He made the semi-final in the Rome Masters, and then the tournament before that, he made the final in Madrid, where he lost to, of course, the informed Carlos Alcaraz, is playing exceptional at the moment. But yeah, for these reasons, I'm going to go with Zverev. But let's not forget about Sebastian Hoffman, right? He has only played one main draw in the Grand Slam, and that came way back in Wimbledon 2017 when he made the third round at Wimbledon. Obviously, clay is a very different service to Wimbledon, and this will be his second ever major appearance at any Grand Slam. He did win a challenger back in April on the clay in Prague. He's a very tall guy. He's got a big serve, big forehand, big game, but I just think it's going to be hard to cause some real damage to Zverev, who is playing very well on the clay and really enjoys the service.
No, I think you're definitely tough ask. However, I will add that I'm very sure that Zverev in his first round match, I think it was against fellow German, I can't remember, I think it was Otte or someone else. He was down the first two sets, Zverev, in the first round, and was able to claw back and made the semifinals, I believe. I don't exactly remember who it was against, but
was it against? Might have been against Struff even.
Yeah, it could
might have been against Struff. It was against Otte. You're right.
Otte, yeah. So big server, tall guy. I think Offner has those qualities, so he might, Zverev has his days of crumbling. So we'll
never know.
See how we go.
The nerves, the early nerves.
Exactly right.
You never know. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll do. Going to another, I think Lajovic and Baez, they're both decent players and definitely show up. I consider both these players quite mentally strong. Obviously, Baez coming into the tour, becoming more known this year. Lajovic is a bit older. We've seen Baez come up to a career high of 38. He won in Estoril. I think he was the 6th or 7th or 8th favorite to win that tournament. He's come up well there. This is only his second Grand Slam this year. This year is his first years of Grand Slam. So he's facing his first Roland Garros. I think we see Lajovic, he's ranked 66 this time, but he has reached the fourth round here. So I'm not sure how well he's going to do. Lajovic's a bit older here. Maybe his body's wearing down a bit, but, thinking the first round, it should be fresh, right?
Yeah, this is an interesting pad. It's really a battle of experience versus a battle of youth. I think you're right. It is hard to look past Baez. He is playing his career high ranking is 37. He's ranked 38. He did come off a great win in Estoril. Also made a final on the clay as well at Chile back in February, might I add. He lost to Pedro Martinez, a Spaniard, in 3 sets, 6-4 in the third. But yeah, I think it is hard to look Baez at this point in time. He's playing some amazing tennis on the clay. So I'm going to agree with you with this one. I think Baez is going to get it done.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be tough though.
How do you think about Nakashima versus Majora?
Nakashima and Majira. This was one that left me in a bit of confusion about who is going to get through this round. I think this is going to be another one of those matches which could be 4 or 5 sets for sure. Nakashima is ranked 74. He's been as high as 62, 65. And Majora is currently ranked 81. So there's 7 rankings between them. So not much separating them. Both of them have had good results at various times this year. Nakashima made the round of 64 in the Italian Open, round of 32 in Munich. You would argue that he prefers the fast services because he has made some good results. At the US Open, he made the US Open second round twice. He's never played in a main draw at Roland Garros in 3 attempts that he's been since turning professional. So that could be something to add to the mix. Kamil Majora, he played Nakashima last week in Rome, and Nakashima won in straight sets, despite the fact that Majora made the second round of Roland Garros in 2021. So look, I think it's going to be one of those. It's too close to call in the moment, but I'm going to go Nakashima, and I'm going to go with the fact that, he beat Majora last week, and so he's going to be really using that confidence in this match at Roland Garros. But it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think playing those matches like a week before, I definitely think it has a mental impact. It's very fresh in their minds and not forgetting it anytime soon. But I think it might be going on to the next match. I think the winner of either Greece or Fokina might have Yeah, a bit of an easier match against in the second round against the winner of Nakashima Majrak. I think they might be a bit tired. There might be 4 or 5 hours. I think it could be a bit of a easy second round for whoever wins out of Griegel and Fokina. Speaking of, this is something that could throw a spanner in the works as well. Fokina, I think this is his first seeded tournament. 25. He's had a big rise in the rankings in this season, in the clay season. We see him go from, someone who's hit and miss on the court to suddenly a finalist in one of the most famous Masters 1000 events, Monte Carlo. I think he has made the quarterfinal in 2021, so he has the form. He's not afraid of it, But apart from winning 5 in a row in Monte Carlo, he's still 12-13 in the season on clay. So I'm not too sure. Well, I'm thinking with Griegel, he's had a run in the Challenger events. He's won 29 matches in a row in the Challengers, which is something I've never heard of. But I think Fokina might just have the experience here. How do you think this will go?
Yeah, that is incredible. I was going to go to your point as well. I think the experience of Fokina might just be enough to beat the 64 ranked Talon Griegel. You're right, it's not going to be an easy ask for Fokina, but given his results on clay, I think he's going to really channel that in the tough moments and use that experience to really help him. So it's going to be another close one, but I think Fokina is going to maybe just get it done.
Definitely. Another popcorn match coming up, Jack. What do you reckon?
Big match, big serve. We've got the American John Isner. Look, he's in his 30s now, and he's potentially getting to the back end of his career. But look, he's still playing some great tennis. He made the finals of Houston a few weeks ago, narrowly losing to another big server who we all know, Riley Opelka. He made the 4th round at Roland Garros in 2018, Isner did, and 2016 and 2014. And he did have a big 5-set match against Nadal back in 2011, which was certainly one of those classic matches. Look, he's coming against a guy who's ranked 86 and actually hasn't played too much in the main tour, plays primarily on the Challenger Tour in Quentin Halles. Halles been playing really well. He lost last week in a Challenger in Bordeaux in the finals against the Australian in-form, Alexei Popyrin. But, he's had some other good results as well. He made 4 finals, 2 semis and 1 quarter on the Challenger Tour. So, this could be the year that, Halles really steps up to the ATP, the main ATP Tour. But yeah, for the reasons that John Isner is a big serve and he has had a lot of success here in the past, I'm going to go with Isner on this one.
Yeah, I think I can't fault you on the facts there. I think Isner, even this season, he's had some great results. But I'm trying to find an excuse to have Halles through. I think Isner's going to eventually fall. I think he's 35 or 36 now. He's been playing doubles as well. We saw with Schwartz when he was in the Rome final.
Great one last week.
Yeah, with the championship point even. It's gone about a few centimeters wide. That was, I think. Yep.
No, I think that even the doubles will serve him with the confidence as well. Having been the doubles final on the clay, getting that that much needed match play on the clay before the singles, I think will kind of help relax him going into the tournament. Yeah. But yeah, we know that Isner has lost in the first round before. It's not uncommon. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah,
definitely. Yeah, for those reasons, I think with Halles on the clay as well, I think he's had his fair experience. Seems he only plays on clay this year. I think I'm going to go for an early upset here. But I may very well be wrong.
Fair enough.
We'll see how we go. Moving down.
Who's next, Pat?
We've got Taro Daniel versus Gregoire Barrera. I believe it's very unique names here. But I think on paper, it seems like Daniel might be winning here. I think Daniel, he was in a quarterfinal in Serbia. He defeated Rune and Lajovic actually in his way to the quarterfinals. He's still ranked just outside the top 100. And he hasn't made it past the second round here yet at Roland Garros, but he's young. I think he's fiery. And although, Barrera, he's got a huge weapon in his serve, Barrera just hasn't quite made it through the top 200 yet. He's got into a challenger final, but I'm just looking for that consistency. I think I first looked at him in the Australian Open qualifiers this year, and I thought his serve could help him a lot. The clay, bit of a slower surface. I think Taro Daniel might just be able to move him around a bit more on the court.
Yeah, nothing more to add, Pat. I'm going with Taro Daniel on this one for all the reasons you just said.
Very nice.
Moving on, Michael Moore, the American, versus Bernapé Zapata Miralles, the Spanish. Mo is ranked 179, Zapata Miralles ranked 133. Look, Mo had a good run last week, in the round of 16. He was a lucky loser there in Lyon. He played well against Manuel Guinea, the Frenchman, who's in really good form at the moment. He made the made the quarterfinal, lose to Holger Rune, which is a tough ask off the back of a 3-hour plus match. Look, Mo, he's made the final in a challenger in Tallahassee. He made the first round at Roland Garros in 2020, but he's only made one main draw appearance at Roland Garros in 6 attempts. Zapata Miralles, we know the Spanish and how much they fight. He's ranked 133 at the moment. He's not playing too badly at all. He made 3 out of the last 4 Grand Slams last year. He made the first round of Roland Garros last year, and this is the first meeting between the pair, might I add. Quarterfinal and round of 16 a few weeks back at challenger level. So look, he's played a lot of matches. I think Mo's going to bring the really big serves. Zapata Miralles is going to grind it out from the baseline. But I think Zapata Miralles on this slower surface with the long points, I think Zapata Miralles can just get away with the win.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'll add there, I totally agree with that. I think if you saw the highlights between Mo and Guinard in the Lyon tournament last week, we saw the French crowd just go so hardly, for the French players. I think Mo left a bit of a distaste in the French crowd. So I think we might see, even though Zapata Miralles is Spanish, I think we might see, the crowd be booing Mo a bit after there was a bit of controversy last week.
Could be an extra incentive for him to try and win.
Yeah, could go either way.
So
exactly right.
could be an exciting match. Could be an exciting match if you're on the outside courts at Paris in Roland Garros.
Exactly right. Leading into Taylor Fritz, rank 14 against Taverna, rank 203. They're not in the top 100 or 200 if they don't have an image next to the name. But he's Argentine. He's born on clay, raised on clay. It's his first Roland Garros tournament. For that reason, I think Fritz just might have a bit more experience. He's American, but he does like to play on clay. Fritz doesn't have a bad record at all. We see often some Americans not liking clay too much, prefer the hard court. But, I think Fritz, he hasn't played too much clay season. He had a bit of an injury, but I think he's going to come back strong.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this one, Pat, for all the reasons you just said. I think, it's hard to look past the experience and talent of Taylor Fritz. We know how well he's playing when he uses that big serve. And when he gets that going, his forehand is on. And we know how dangerous it can be when he gets that ball on the forehand. And you're right, it is a slower surface, but I still think Fritz can get away with the win. I think it's going to be tough for Taverna to come up against Fritz, who's playing really well this year.
Yeah, something else I might add, I believe since September last year, I think he's made every quarterfinal of the Masters 1000 or higher since September. So I think he's showing consistency. Fact check me, I may be wrong. It might just be Grand Slams, but I think it's Masters.
I was going to fact check. Masters.
I don't know if there's a way to see, but...
He did make the quarterfinal Monte Carlo, Miami, made the round of 16 in Indian Wells. He won it, but either way, he is playing very well at the moment. So I think we can both agree that Fritz is our pick for round 1. Next, the British Cameron Nori versus Manuel Guinea. Well, Cameron Nori ranked 11 at the moment. He won Lyon yesterday. He took a set off Alcaraz in Madrid. This could play into fatigue, depending on how he's feeling. His best result was in the Roland Garros third round in 2021. In fact, he made the third round at the Australian Open, Wimbledon, and Roland Garros last year as well. And I believe he had a good run in the US Open as well. So, look, he is a good player on clay. We know how good he is. He's coming up against a guy who is in form, who's going to have the French crowd behind him. Manuel Guinea, ranked 158 in the world. He has made the third round of Roland Garros, if that's correct.
I think
third round of qualies.
Yeah, maybe the qualies. We'll have to fact check that as well. But
but he did take a set off Rune in the quarterfinal of Lyon. So look, I think Manuel Guinea has got the French crowd behind him, but I think it's going to be a tough ask to beat Cameron Nori, who is playing really well at Grand Slam level. So I'm going with Nori on this one.
Yeah, all the reasons. Agree there. Can't see Guinea pulling something out of the hat here. Well, we got an Aussie we didn't expect to see in the draw. Jason Kubler coming through qualies. I think it was the only Australian male to come through the qualies. He's ranked 161 at the moment. He's got an incredible clay record this year, 19-4. He's won 6 of his last 7 matches, so I'm very excited to see him play here. And we might even see him going through the second round here. I'm putting him against Kubler. I'm putting him for the win. Kubler's ranked 80. He's a bit of a, you could say, a dark horse at the moment. He's only won a few clay matches this season, and his best win was only against ranked 57 Jack Sock. So he hasn't been tested yet. I think Kubler, he's got the fitness. I think he'll still be fresh after qualifying, and we might see an upset here.
Yeah, look, that's going to be the question on everyone's lips with Jason Kubler. We know how many injuries he has in the past. He's a really solid right hand, a lot of spin, great forehand. It will be interesting to see how he comes off the back of 3 qualifying matches, which he won very well in all those matches and was very competitive. And look, Denis Kudla is no joke. This guy's ranked 8 in the world. He's a good player all round. And as you said there, he has beaten Jack Sock on the clay. But look, I'm going to go with Jason Kudla on this one. Hopefully the Australian can get it done with this one in the first round.
Yeah, I agree. I think we might see Kubler going through. Yeah. With regards to the next match, I might leave you two to it. You and Dominic. Let me
yeah, this is certainly going to be an absolute popcorn match, and certainly there'll be a lot of people tuning into this match. We've got Dominic Thiem, the Austrian. He's been as high as world number 3. He is ranked at 194 currently. We know that doesn't reflect his current form. He's been struggling, admittedly, and since coming back from injury, he's been 0-6. So that 194, once he gets his form going, his ranking should go up. We know how much he likes Roland Garros. He's made the final here twice in 2019 and 18, semi-final in 2017, 2016. Couldn't quite get things done last year. Got early exit in the first round. He made the quarters of Roland Garros 2020. So yeah, he's a great player for sure. He's coming up against someone, Hugo Dellien, who is playing some really great tennis at the moment. The Bolivian, ranked 87. He lost in the round of 64 in Madrid, losing to Hurkacz, who is the Polish player, no joke, lost in 3 sets. He came through qualifying in both Barcelona and Estoril to make the round of 32 and round of 16. Look, once again, it's going to be another one of those matches that everyone will be interested to see how Dominic Thiem goes. Where is his fitness at? Where is that forehand at? We know how much Dominic Thiem looks at that forehand to really get that ball jumping off the clay. Look, I'm a Thiem fan. I'm going to have to go with Dominic Thiem on this one and hope for the best and hope he can get his first win in over a year.
Yeah, you definitely. I think he might act as if he's just won the Roland Garros after getting his first win. I think he's going to get it. This is very important to him. He's getting his first Grand Slam back, and we might see some victory here.
Maybe. Fingers crossed.
Awesome. Going to the crazy Nuno Borges against Karen Katchnov. We see Borges, famously seen him in the Portuguese tournaments. We just saw him in Estoril last year. I believe he beat Jordan Thompson, top 100. This year, I think he beat. I'll just have to fact check myself. I think. Let me get this up actually, because I know he beat one. Yeah, so he beat Pablo Andujar, and he took a set off Francis Tiafoe. Wow. So he's got the energy. He's 25 years old. He's still fresh, but I think it might be a bit of a task against Katchnov. He was beaten by Puy in Madrid, but I think Katchnov has the ability to take it to him, and I think we're going to see him do it pretty convincingly here.
Yeah, Katchnov has made the 4th round and quarterfinal at Roland Garros. And look, he is a dangerous player wherever he goes. There's a reason that Katchnov is a 21 seed. He's got that massive forehand, big serve, and he's going to definitely have to look to use that forehand on the clay to get some cheap points. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Katchnov with this one. I think he might be able to get it done, although he has had some, tough results on the clay in recent times. But yeah, I'm going to go with Katchnov on this one.
definitely. I think we are weary of time, so I know you want to be watching the 7 p.m. game. So quickly, how do we think about the quarter million match?
Yeah, look, Cordes had some great results. I mean, he defeated Alcaraz, in Monte Carlo. He's made the fourth round of Roland Garros in 2020. I think that was the beginning of many. That's when we really saw Corda really come alive in that tournament. And yet he'll be definitely looking to use that experience against Millman, who is certainly no walk in the park. We know how much Millman likes to fight, but we know that Clay is his preferred service. We know he's an Australian. We know how much he loves the hard court, but I'm going to go with Corda on this one.
Yeah, can't fault you here. I think Corda probably should be winning in straight sets here. Coming down to Harris versus Gasquet. Gasquet coming into some good form here. Gasquet's leading the head-to-head. He defeated Medvedev in Geneva. And although he's 35 years old, Harris might throw a few drop shots in him. I think he might have what it takes here. I know he hasn't made the second round, since 2018. Been a few years for him, but Harris, he hasn't quite come back to the form that he was in, back in 2020 where he really blew up. He's 2-5 this season on clay. I think although he has probably the fitness to last the 5 sets and Gasquet questionable, I think this might well possibly be Gasquet's last Roland Garros. So we don't want to count him out here. I think Gasquet will take it.
Yeah, look, next up, Pat, we've got a very exciting match. If you're an Australian or if you're a Spaniard, it's going to be a really interesting match. We've got Albert Ramos Vinolas. He's ranked 42 at the moment, the 34-year-old. Made the quarterfinal at Roland Garros in 2016, but hasn't passed the second round since 2019. Look, we know how good Ramos Vinolas is. He had great runs in Estoril in the past. He's coming up against an Australian who is certainly looking to make some inroads on the Roland Garros in Thanasi Kokkinakis, currently ranked 85 at the moment. Great run in Geneva the other week, making the quarterfinal, defeating Fabio Fognini and Federico Del Bonis, two people who were no joke on the clay. I think Kokkinakis is going to have to be wary of that high bounce on his backhand side, because Ramos Vinolas is definitely going to look to use that forehand, that lefty forehand and the cross court. I think it's another one of those matches that could go either way, but I'm going to go with Kokkinakis on this one just for the Australian support. Who are you going with, Pat?
Oh, you put me on the spot here. I know I hate to be unpatriotic, but I think honestly the match will be won from Ramos's forehand into Kokkinakis' backhand. Kokkinakis, he has a decent backhand, but it's nothing. I wouldn't say it's his strong suit. But I think Ramos, he's smart on the court. He's smart on the clay. He's smarter on the clay, and I think we might see Ramos go through. I'm not sure how much further he'll get. I'd love to see a Gasquet Ramos Vinolas third match, but I think with the number 6 seed down here, I think we might struggle to see anyone going past him. Carlos Alcaraz, no other. We've seen him win 2 tournaments already. He's won Madrid and Barcelona. He beat Djokovic his 19th birthday. He beat he won the final a couple of days later. Or the next day. I think we haven't seen him go further than a quarterfinal. He reached the quarterfinal US Open in 2021, famously beating, I believe, Tsitsipas in the 5th set tiebreaker. And look, I don't mind Londero. He's luckily a loser into the tournament. He's a clay courter. He knows his way around the clay court, especially. And Carlos has had foot concerns, his ankle concerns, but I think it'll be hard to go past Carlos here.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I mean, Carlos Alcaraz is the man on everyone's lips at the moment, isn't he? Certainly a contender this year's Grand Slam. Certainly one that a lot of people will be watching. Juan Ignacio Londero has won a title on the clay. That was a few years ago back, I believe. Can't remember exactly where it was, but yeah, I mean, with the form that Alcaraz is in, he's going to be dangerous no matter who he faces.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting first day. We've just got the day 1 here at the moment, but we'll be coming with day 2 tomorrow after the day 1 matches. It's just gone past the Roland Garros time. I'm sure they'll be warming up on court. I'm sure we'll both be watching it, and it's going to be very exciting.
Enjoy the French Open.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Keep subscribing, keep liking the video, and thanks, Jack, for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the opportunity. And guys, make sure you remember to like and subscribe in the video. It really helps the channel out.
Thanks, guys.